Um, my name's Dave Patten, and I'm head of new media at the Science Museum in London. And I've worked there for quite a long time, about 28 years, and I've seen a lot of change in that time, particularly around technology. And I was really excited to be asked to chair this session this morning, partly because learning is at the heart of what we do in museums, and particularly because I'm running two projects at the Science Museum where learning plays a really key role. I'm working with a small research group in the museum to formulate plans for a new version of our hands-on gallery about physics for young children between 7 and 14 years old. And the real challenge we're facing is we're trying to integrate maths into that experience. And we're looking at whether that's done through a series of physical maths-based experiments that children can do and learn through on the gallery, through to at the other end of that, whether we use technology, particularly augmented reality technologies, to unlock the maths in all of those experiments that are on the exhibition floor. The second project that I'm working on is looking at how we train engineers or encourage young people to move into engineering careers. So we're opening at the end of this year a very interactive exhibition aimed at teenagers, young teenagers, looking at the choices of careers in engineering and the qualities that make good engineers. And this will be delivered through a series of large multi-user digital installations that will let children explore some of the qualities of engineering, creative thinking, problem solving, spatial awareness, and then direct them into the kinds of opportunities that engineering offers. And this is a big thing, certainly for the UK, and this is partly an initiative that's been led by government to try and get more people trained as skilled engineers in the UK, and I'm sure we're not alone in this. Our audiences learn in many different ways when they come to museums. From researchers and curators who use our collections to help make new knowledge, through to the school groups that visit our museums as part of formal education programs, and then to probably the bulk of our visitors who come to take part in informal learning through the museums. And increasingly, we're looking at how those informal learners share their learning with other visitors. They become knowledge creators in a museum, and it isn't just the museums that are creating knowledge. Everybody that comes to the museum is having an opportunity to do that. Our speakers today are going to present some interesting papers on different aspects of learning in museums and using technology. We have three speakers. There's been a slight change from the program. Unfortunately, Stéphanie Savard wasn't able to join us, but if you come back to the Museums and the Florence website in April, her paper should be online and you can read it there. Our three speakers today are Helen Petrie, who's Professor of Human-Computer Interaction in the Department of Computer Science at the University of York. And Helen is going to explore how websites can better present information that caters for different learning styles. I think that's something it's kind of really important to all of us. Next up, we've got Isabelle Astic, who's a PhD student at the Conservatoire National des Arts et Métiers. And she's presenting research into storytelling, learning, and adaptivity, exploring how the narrative can become more aware, adapting itself to the surrounding context and the visitor's interests. And lastly, Vincenzo Ferrara, who's Director of E-Learning and Teaching at the Museum Lab, University of Rome. And Vincenzo will be presenting MuseEd, which is a user-centered framework designed by a partnership between museums and schools, designed to make cultural heritage material more accessible to learners. So I'd like to hand over to Helen to make our first presentation.